I was going to call this energy update quickening, because that's really the energy that is coming in here through this next week. But I didn't want to use this word because it's a beat up new age word. Yeah. Plus, people believe when they hear quickening, they believe it's all going to be waterfalls and unicorns. Far from it, guys. This next week is going to be very challenging. But in that, it is going to give you a fantastic opportunity, offering for a quickening of your life force, because it is in our human nature to not change until the pain of staying where we're at becomes greater than the fear of the unknown. Welcome everybody to our weekly energy update live on Skype. My name is Jona Bryndis. I'm an energy healer, energy coach and visionary, and I report about the affairs of the world and humans here from the vantage point, through the lens of seeing ourselves as energetic beings, and every living thing, the rocks and the plants and the animals and the planet itself as a living being. This creates a higher vantage point and allows us to see things that we cannot resolve with just simply thinking in a material way. So don't get misguided here. This isn't about the new age language. This is about really diving into the meaning and also the purpose of our personal transformations with hands-on tools, with things that we can all do, that we can all discover, elements of ourselves, tools, abilities that we all have in ourselves. So it's not what we would call science nowadays, but it is close. This actually leads me to a quick remark about the state of spiritual awakening in this world. As many of you know here as my loyal audience, I often make critical remarks about New Age, and I want to let you know that there's a reason for this, because I see a big temptation here to wander off into the Elysium of La La Land with some of these contextualizations that I see, that move people away from their inner power. My purpose and the purpose of these talks, these updates and forecasts and so forth, is to lead you toward your power, toward recognizing and experiencing for yourself what it is that you need to focus on, that you need to activate in yourself. And that said, I'm not comparing. What I want you to become able through these kind of comments is to discern, is to understand the differences. Words create reality, guys. And when you sign up for things, in the literal or figural sense, that uses words that hijack your clear thinking, your clear feeling, and your clear contextualizing, your clear perceiving, then there's nothing really I can help you with, because that is something that you are then choosing to energize within yourself, okay? So the point that I'm trying to make with this is that you need to sharpen that part of you that makes decisions. And this is here for the week 23, the 4th till the 10th of June 2022, the main theme. It's all about decision making, and many of us feel overwhelmed because there is so much going on internally and externally. We're tired of doing this or deciding this. And what are we choosing? We're choosing to check out, or we're choosing to go on autopilot instead. And that's something that, of course, we all have the right to choose, that we need to be wary about. There are greater energies, greater developments here in our collective that can easily send us to the wrong exit, as I often call it. Yeah. So you need to be very careful about what it is, your mindset, in your beliefs, and in what you energize with your attention or with your, say, time that you read things or look at things and so forth. And that said, yeah, and we're going to see this here in a moment when I go through the energy tips for this week. It's not what you think. I'm not going to go to, stay away from social media, stay away from news and all this. You've heard me say this for many years. This is not what this is about. On the contrary, I report about these collective energies for a reason, and that is that it is impossible to stay in truth with yourself and to have a higher vantage point and to see these things that I report about here for yourself without caring, without having an open mind and an interest in what moves this world. What are the affairs of people? So New Age is very clear that social media is bad and all this is bad. And many of you have developed an attitude to it that is, like all this on media is dark. I will not disagree with you, but I will disagree with the mindset behind that, namely that you should check out or disconnect from what is going on around you. It is not possible for us to dismiss the karmic purpose of us being here right now. If you disconnect from what moves people's minds or what moves people's emotions, you are not able to move into this higher expression of yourself because it needs the world. It is the same energy that keeps the universe growing. Yeah, this cosmic evolution that is working through you. And there's nothing in this universe, guys, that is solitary. Everything works together in a balance. We may not be able to understand it all yet. We may not be able to see how things are connected because they're simply too far apart or we don't live long enough. That's the limitation of our physical existence here. But to bring all this into coherence, we can access this part in us that is actually able to increase our perception without having to live longer, without needing to be immortal or anything like that, without being special, without being a sage or an initiate or a spiritual warrior. It is the same divine energy that flows through us that gives us life force as the whole entire planet, as other people, as animals, as the mineral kingdom. And once you understand that in its depth, you are shifting your perception. You're beginning to see everything as energy. Not energy in a physical, material sense, but energy in a spiritual sense. You begin to understand that seeing yourself as an energetic being fundamentally means that you are recognizing the spirit being, the soul that lives in you. And that soul that comes from somewhere, yeah, and has to go somewhere, all right, is the one that we are here to work with, that we are here to learn to work with, to become one. So this time here, especially in this week, this is a turning point week, okay? So these things that are coming in here now, 4th till 10th of June, they bring in the themes for the next, what is this, July, August, September, October, 4.5 months. Yeah, there is an unfolding that is happening right now that brings in many challenges to the world, yeah, to the collective. In the energy forecast, I talked about how the energies in June are very much about collective concerns. And here in this week where we have so many things, so many threads in politics, in economy, in financials, in interrelationships, in social media, in safety and security, in home and feeling secure for ourselves with our family, where all that comes up, you are asked to develop this part in you, this decision making, this discerning or discernment ability in you by shifting your perception. Clear thinking, clear feeling, clear senses lead to clear choices. And clear choices in conjunction with clear priorities and virtues lead to clear actions and coherence in your life. Coherence in the sense of inner peace. And anyone who has difficulties with making decisions, who struggles with setting boundaries, who cannot access truth within themselves about themselves and the situation that they're in and what needs to be done, is suffering from unclear thoughts, unclear emotions, unclear sensing, and therefore unclear perception. And when I mention mind control in so many of my talks, guys, I want you to move away from this idea that there's somebody sitting making you think something. It is not this way. It's the self-deception, yeah, that manipulates you. Yeah, it is using your own mind against yourself. Okay, and that is what clouds your ability to think, to choose, and to act. And I want you to take this whole entire week to focus just on decision making. And even if it means you have to weed out things, but I want you to do this from a higher vantage point. First of all, I want you to become more aware of your own inner conflictions. Yeah, the stuff that creates all this unclearness, this unclarity in you, the fears and the doubts. Yeah, the inability to tell what your true priorities are, what you truly need and what you truly want. Your inability to communicate your boundaries with other people, to say things exactly how you feel them and how you mean them, to act exactly in the way you've promised to yourself or even, your higher self. These are all things that lead to this fear cloud, this unclarity and inner confliction. And I've mentioned on many occasions that this is the part that is painful for us. So I want you to shift your vantage point to a place where you clean up through taking one challenge at a time. In the new energy alignment for June, the healing resonance for June is faith. I say each and every challenge is an offering to provide a quickening for my life force. We have to stop identifying with the problems, yeah, or even the conflict or the battle itself. We have to stop identifying with this. It's okay that there is a challenge there, guys. Yes, we have to apply a lot of things right now, and they have to be feasible, they have to be sustainable, they have to be practical. Energy is like money. Yeah. You can't just give away your energy for free. You can't just sign up for 1 million apps and then not use them. You can't just power up your air conditioning in your house or your heating and leave all doors and windows open. Of course you can choose to do that, but you're going to run into a conflict with yourself. Yeah, and that is that you know deep down that that is a waste of energy, a waste of money, a waste of life force. And especially in New Age, this whole money subject is poo-pooed, okay? Because it's a symbol for materialism, and there is obviously truth in that, because if we make money our priority, we will not be able to discover purpose. We will not find peace. We will not find happiness, because money itself is aligned to scarcity, is aligned to lack. Even if you don't experience lack per se, money itself is aligned to it, as opposed to, think clearly, love, happiness, fulfillment, beauty, seeing the good in other people, in yourself, in the world. There is no scarcity with those extremely high frequency resonances in us. We can choose to see the good and the beautiful, to see truth, and to strive for, a higher capacity for truth, for creativity, and for love at any time. Or is there somebody sitting in you and say you don't deserve to look at it this way? You don't deserve to love. You don't deserve to be creative. You don't really? I know that many of you have critical inner voices that sound that way. But your discernment here, your clear thinking should tell you that's a bunch of BS. Who says that I don't deserve to be creative, that I don't deserve to energize beauty in and around myself? Who says that I'm not good enough to get what I want? This is what you can learn, guys, with consciousness training. You have to understand that that's all part of your lower expression. We all have this, you're not the only one. But ultimately, to focus on that which you truly need and want, and what your truth is, and what increases your capacity to be enlivened, to be alive, to be creative, to have initiative, to move into your own agency, as psychologists say, to be industrious, to actively participate in this world and reality. That comes from your life force, guys. And life force isn't some mystical thing. Life force is available to all of us. But what holds us back from feeling it and utilizing it are all the conflicts, mostly in our heads. So again, this spiritual awakening journey that we are all in right now is not about gaining, getting, having, owning. It's about letting go the things that are in the way, letting go of these inner battles, these inner conflictions. Stop identifying with all the things that you think make you not good enough, or make you imperfect, or make you, someone who is still working on stuff. We are all just working on things. We're striving for more truth, for more freedom, and for more love in our lives. Be okay with it. It's something that connects us all. But be wary of toxicity, be it in your job, in your relationships, in the type of social media, or the type of social interaction, or the words that you say, the words that you listen to. Because everything that you ingest ultimately has to go through you. And when toxicity, when poison, in form of physical, emotional, mental, or etheric energies goes through you, it slows your life force down. It slows your energy down. In the forecast for June, I talked about energy expenditure, and I really want to keep up this theme, with you visualizing your energy like money. Because when I ask you, would you spend money on this or that? You'd say, no, of course not. And yet, on your everyday schedule where you spend 2-3 hours engaging in senseless social media, you're spending your even more precious energy. You're spending it, guys. You're giving it away. And yes, I admit that sometimes when you listen to me, it's uncomfortable, it's cringy, right? Because I represent striving for truth, for creativity, and for beauty, for more freedom and more light in our life. And I call you out on these things. And every time you listen to something that I do here, that I present to you, a talk, a forecast, a workshop, or whatever, you are also spending energy. But where does that lead you? What does it do to you? Does it make you feel bad? Even though in some moments I can feel this. It feels discomforting at first to hear me say certain things. Does it contract your energy? Does it make you feel small? Does it make you feel bad about yourself? Does it make you feel like you're not good enough? Or does it empower you? Does it inspire you? Does it enliven you? Does it invigorate you? Does it encourage you? That's what I mean with energy expenditure, guys. That's how you need to look at what you spend your energy, money, attention, words, actions, or time on. That is what can help you to discern what is true, what is loving, and what is invigorating to you. So every challenge is an offering, is an invitation for a quickening. I was going to call this energy update quickening because that's really the energy that is coming in here through this next week. But I didn't want to use this word because it's a beat up new age word. Plus, people believe when they hear quickening, they believe it's all going to be waterfalls and unicorns. Far from it, guys. This next week is going to be very challenging. But in that, it is going to give you a fantastic opportunity, offering for a quickening of your life force, because it is in our human nature to not change until the pain of staying where we're at becomes greater than the fear of the unknown. The mother of all darknesses within ourselves. The origin of inner darkness, of inner heaviness, of doubt, of condemnation. This is what you need to focus on in the whole entire month of June. But for the next 4 months, this is going to be the big theme. And this week is going to present you with all of these elements in your life and us here as collective in the collective affairs. So what might this entail? It will entail political conflicts. It will entail, and that includes war, obviously. It will entail financial conflicts, things that have to do with our monetary system. It will entail earth changes, things that, like, for example, earthquakes. Yeah, and things that come along with this. It will entail the things about food and sustainability. It will entail the environmental components, of us poisoning this planet. And it will show you the mind control that I am talking about, how you are voluntarily, silently complicit with spoon-fed toxicity. And when I say this, I am not just referring to social media, because you will hear me say this here in a moment. It's important that we are open and that we care for the affairs of people. It's okay to look at what does social media present here as sort of the most viral threads. What is going on in the heads and hearts of people? It's okay to look at that as a witnesser. But when you exert, when you expend, when you invest in it with your own energy, that's when you are in danger of being mind controlled. So you see, I'm making a distinction here, and that distinction has to do with your perception. You can be the witnesser of what is going on in this world and still be in your center and see this from throughout your higher vantage point, but without losing the connection to the world. Because that's the other darkness. Remember? Go back to my videos about, actually how inner darkness forms and what these temptations of darkness are, the temptations of our ego, the two extremes. It happens through you not staying on focus, not knowing your priorities, not knowing your virtues that represent who you truly are. And it distracts you from expressing that. It distracts you from loving yourself, from doing something creative, from socializing with friends, from stepping out of your comfort zone to seek new experiences, to talk about these bigger, more heart-related themes, not as in like emotional, but as in like concerning, your greater perspectives, your spiritual perspectives. It distracts you from that. And that's when you feel disconnected, and that's why this is so dark, because at that moment you have chosen to allow yourself to be disconnected. So the greater theme here for June again is faith, which is us really understanding that regardless of these outer challenges, our purpose and our task here in this lifetime is to find these virtues in us, is to find this cosmic or divine force, that brought us into existence in the first place, and to amplify it, to bring it out, to increase the capacity of that and bring that back into the world. That's the greater cycle of life force, if you will. And there are 4 principles to this, 4 principles of being and living as a conscious soul self. A conscious soul self is someone who has recognized that, who has consciously chosen to be part of this divine, universal evolutionary power. And who knows what their purpose is, who they are. It's the conscious I am self. And these 4 principles are rather simple, but we forget them. Number 1, initiative. Be an active participant. Never allow autopilot for more than, I don't know, an hour, maybe 2, half a day, max. Don't be lazy. Tend to your temple, your physical existence. Yeah, the vehicle for your conscious soul self. Tend to your surrounding. Yeah, your garden, your house, your car, your children, everything that you surround yourself with. Infuse it with love, with creativity, with beauty. Be inspired. Yeah, initiative is a word that comes from initiation. Be an initiated person by bringing it into expression. And this doesn't mean that you have to work your ass off. It just means that you just have to be aware of it. What happens when you check out, when you go on autopilot? Because that means you are literally allowing yourself to become a 24-hour self-serve energy station for any kind of entity or energy out there. That's how we absorb stuff, guys. That's how we get sucked into other people's dramas or become self-absorbed, yeah, with our own fears and thoughts. So be active, be an active participant and bring this into the world. Do everything that you do with purpose. Number 2, we talked about this already, be interested. Connect with the world. Be open. Train your mind to not be so preoccupied and righteous. Be interested in what moves other people, in the affairs of humans and the world. Witness the world that you are in and connect with the health and the being of the whole world. You are a part of it. It's the same life force that goes through you. Be open. Give yourself maybe, 10 minutes a day to read the headlines, to see, what is moving people. And instead of immediately forming an opinion about it, feel into it and recognize what is expressed through the media frenzy, for example, with the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp trial, or the war in the Ukraine, or monkeypox, or all these things. What is expressed there? Allow yourself to clearly think this through, not to just get swept away by the rah-rah of it. Number 3, and this is where many of you get stuck, where most of your conflictions lie. Never compromise truth. Strive for truth in your life. Strive means try your best. It doesn't mean be perfect. It means be honest with yourself. Take 5 minutes, maybe at the end of the day, to take an inventory of how truthful you were with your expressions today, and what you would like to improve on, what you would like to change, or what you would like to bring into higher expression. Don't lie to yourself, guys. Never, never, never tell yourself stories. Our ego comes up with stories all the time. You need to learn to call yourself out on that. To call out when your ego spins a story, and the same applies to your critical inner voice. Do not identify with it. And lastly, number 4, focus everything that you do, every thought, emotion, action, everything that you ingest, everything that you express, on what energizes you, your vitality. How you can bring more life force into expression. And that requires you, what I mentioned in the beginning, to reduce the overlight, the confliction, what lowers your energy, to weed out the toxic stuff that's just consuming your energy without you even realizing it. That's sucking you dry, so that by the end of the day you don't have time to engage with anything creative or anything loving or anything that would actually help you to connect. Focus on what keeps you healthy, inside out, outside in. Study, read, listen, watch things that augment your perception, that enliven you, that invigorate you, that inspire you. Socialize with people that bring up perspectives or bring perspectives into your life that are worthwhile stepping into for the duration of a conversation, for example. You don't have to agree with them. You don't just have to socialize with people that have the same opinions as you, like an echo chamber. No. Yes, socialize with your friends. Socialize with the people that can bring more truth in your life. And perhaps seek out a spiritual counsel, a spiritual advisor, like what I am for so many people, that will call you out, that will help you to go or move into higher levels of congruence with yourself, that keep you on track, that keep you accountable, so that you don't give up your initiative, so that you don't lose your interest on the world, so that you don't compromise for the untrue in you. And this isn't exactly a principle, but this is something that came up in a conversation with a client yesterday. Number 5 I want to add is vitamin love. Do not underestimate the power of connection with others, the power of love. Anyone here who has ever been in love with someone, who went through this initial phase, knows what I'm talking about. The power that unfolds in you, be a true love or not is irrelevant, but there's something that unfolds in you, and that is you. It brings the best out in you. It motivates you to take care of yourself, to shine the light on you and to show up with your virtues. You may not always have the stamina to continue to be able to show up that way, but that is the power of love. The power of love can really do this to us. So try to capture this, try to harness that vitamin love in your life, not through a romantic love, but through the love for your own soul self. And once you have experienced this for yourself, you begin to understand the power and the sacredness of that. And then you will see this in others. You will see it in plants and animals, in crystals. You will see it in every thought and every emotion expressed. So with that, I would like to leave you here. I'd like to close and hope that you have a really clear week. It will be challenging, yes. Look forward to it. Be grateful for it, because it will quicken your life force. And as always, I'm going to pester you till I'm on Iceland. Consider coming to Iceland. Make it a conscious choice to invest in your soul self, to get enlivened, to get inspired, instead of spending a Monday to Friday week on autopilot. All right, everyone, this was a little serious today, okay? As I've mentioned in the forecast for June, these first 2 weeks are challenging. So it is my job to keep you guys on target. Yeah, what it is that you need from week to week to better maneuver, to better navigate through these challenging energies. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for commenting. Please share with us your thoughts in the comments. It always increases exchange. It always increases the energy. Yeah, and go to my website if you want to have more information about the upcoming codependency series that starts on Tuesday, or the free energy healing sessions that I have this month, or the workshops and the intensives that I do here for the Heart Warriors. Yeah, just go to transcodes.com or sign up for my email list. I love you guys. See you very soon. Bye-bye. Each and every challenge is an offering to provide a quickening of my life force. Through challenges, I can experience the power of my spiritual autonomy firsthand, and learn that there is nothing to fear but the prison of my own ego self's limitation that deceives me into believing that I am powerless. I am the sovereign of my life's experience. Due to the power of this consciousness, I can see how my journey correlates with the cosmic evolution. It is in my divine nature to grow beyond my ego's defenses and become an active participant and co-creator of my reality.